are, and welcome to the first episode of Friday Night Movie in the year 2024. 2024 sounds like a
It definitely sounds like a movie.
sounds like a fake year.
It
Like
for
the way
sure does sound like a
1984
fake
must
year.
have sounded for people who grew up in like the World War II era. That's what 2024 must sound like. Just imaginary. And it doesn't look like it could have looked, right? It could have, like we expected
I
flying
mean,
cars and
there's
stuff,
no flying cars.
clean
There's not
energy.
even hoverboards that like people can use without looking like idiots on the water.
Right. Like we
there's,
have
like,
some
hoverboards,
No,
surfboards.
but I will
We have-
say we just set up some new stuff in my house. It looks very futuristic. We bought this like indoor vertical
futuristic
farm.
if you need to like eat lettuce on Mars, Becky, but like
No,
not
but,
futuristic
like,
for the
but
rest
how
of
far-
us.
but
the
how
world is
far
headed
away-
in that direction.
But how far away away from that are we? Like we're basically there. So we have a vertical farm indoors in our house with this massive humidifier machine, but it's like looks like a very chic robot, like the girl robot from Wall-E kind of thing. And we have this
Oh
beautiful
my God.
cloud of mist over the vertical farm with these bright. And
I feel like it's gonna
walk in,
like
you feel like you're
cause
on.
mold in your walls.
It sounds
I
like
don't feel
this
like
is
it's
a
meant
way to
be
get bugs.
indoors.
This sounds like a way to
Yeah.
get bugs in your house.
Like
No
Shai
bugs
said
on
yesterday,
Mars.
you're gonna have a lot of aphids in your hair.
Whatever, they'll eat all the lice.
And do you are the kids just going to go and chew on the lettuce in the morning? Do they just walk
yes.
over?
They're so excited. They're so
I have a
excited.
question.
They talk about it
How
already.
are you going to keep your dog away from them? Because between your
That's
kids and your
actually a
dog,
good
you'll have
point.
nothing to make a salad.
It's
have
such
nothing
a
to
good
make a
point.
salad
My
in
dog
that
probably
house.
will eat all the food. Yeah.
So you have to put a fence around it.
Yeah.
So here we are in the new year, and a few things we're going to talk about today. One is just a little review of our recent hanging out that we've been doing with the family, which has been fun.
You get the award for most naps. And I have a 3-year-old. But you get the award for most naps.
Look, everyone has their thing they like to do on vacation. For me, I like my midday nap, like 2:00, take a nice 2-3 hour nap.
Like in the family chat, there's just, I've gone for my nap. And the best is that you said to Allie the other day when we were hanging out and we hadn't seen you, like we saw you then again at dinner, and you were like, guys, I went down at 2. Allie looked at me, she's like, I'm sorry, you went down at 2?
Oh my God.
I'm a little bit, I mean, but like on vacation, I am the biggest baby.
Yeah.
We're
For
aware.
Sure. We are aware.
So we took over. We took over. No, actually, we stayed in a resort in Puerto Rico. I think the resort will never be the same. If I ate at the restaurant, the steak, because we had one night at the fancy steakhouse. If I had eaten at that steakhouse with our family, started off with a yelling match between you two before everyone even sat down.
The children were not the problem at that dinner.
You could just sort of see mom and dad slowly backing up away from us, pretending not to know us.
It was hard. That first night was tough.
But what's amazing is that, I've seen dad yell at many waiters in my lifetime where I'm the one backing
Unfortunately.
away. But in this case, the waiters themselves were just like, well, we're staying out of this. So it started with you guys yelling at each other.
But to be fair, it was the best service we had all week and the best food.
They were afraid.
So more people maybe should be afraid of us in the restaurant.
And then we got the food. The food was delicious.
It was really good.
And your husbands shared something called the tomahawk, which
was a T-Rex. They brought,
which is a T-Rex.
They Jurassic Parked a T-Rex and fed it to them for dinner.
Yeah, that was amazing. And the children, while the boys were eating the T-Rex, I had like a teeny little filet mignon. Like I ordered the kids' portion, and they sitting next to them. And then I gave like half of it to Vlad. And the kids in the meantime, and I don't remember which collection of kids, I assume it was mostly Lily's, but I'm not sure, were just taking pillows from these very nice chairs.
No, that was one of Becky's and one of mine.
Body slamming each other.
That was Becky's littlest and my littlest.
Not.
They were doing
my littlest
bedtime.
We're doing bedtime. She only likes to play family, and she was playing family and putting Lily's littlest to bed.
Okay, that's
bed,
that was
at
also
the restaurant, though.
This was also happening in a restaurant. Okay, so that was the first night. Then I think the next night was Christmas, and we went to there's many restaurants in this resort, and we went to another restaurant. And in this one, they had this amazing festive moment where like a live band came in, but then people with giant,
like a traditional,
like a traditional with like giant heads, like they were
masks,
wearing giant heads, masks.
Yeah, like like almost like the costume of a mascot. It wasn't just like a normal mask; it was a mask.
It was very exaggerated features. That's nightmare fuel for children.
But just human features. But Becky's daughter was.
No, and so mine too. My younger
catching a flight back to. Oh right, no, it was your kid. Yeah, your kiddo was like catching a flight back to DC.
Yeah, I'm out. Left there like Allie and one of my kids just went to the restaurant.
But it was fun. It was a good time.
The tostones were good. And then it all really crescendoed at when we went off campus to a restaurant. They locked us in a local place. Mom
loves.
I feel so bad for Mom. I was just talking about that the other day, how I feel so badly for her, how south this dinner went. She was so excited. If you think about it, Mom loves to move and shake on vacation. She can never stand still. She's always trying to get us to do stuff. And this was the only time the entire week we agreed to leave the hotel. We were willing to leave the hotel.
We agreed other times to the hotel, but mostly just so we didn't have to keep talking about it. And then we didn't do the things.
Right. Exactly. But this was the one time we all agreed we're going to leave the hotel. We're going to go to this restaurant that Mom loved so much. She arranged the whole thing. She had a text chain going on.
There were live lobsters that the kids get to play with and then eat.
So depressing.
Yeah. But then they stuck us in a dungeon and forgot about us. So
it was
I think they heard from the other restaurants. And it was
something out of like a TV show. It was like an Always Sunny episode or something. It was like
they locked us in a conference room or something. It was so weird.
It was a conference room, but it was all tiled walls, so it was also like a bathroom. And
it was. True. It was like a bathroom.
And very weird acoustics.
By the time we were leaving, the restaurant had turned over 3 times. Like I thought maybe everyone was waiting for food, and when we were leaving,
no, we were the only people. We were there for 3 hours, and nobody ate dinner. It was wild.
Yeah, the kids were.
So we just had to leave.
All the kids were crying. But I had a good time.
The adults were crying. Oh, it was fun. It was actually, it was fun.
We all got to talk.
We all got to talk. We were all kind of stuck in this room for 3 hours, and people got to like sit and actually have conversations with other people, which was nice because our kids were kind of locked in there with us.
And then ultimately, I went back to the hotel and I ate a cheese quesito for dinner. That wasn't so bad.
So then we finally gave up, and the only way to feed our family was just by ordering room service, which was the cheapest option.
Yeah, that's what we did the rest of the week.
Came on time.
After that, we just did room service the rest of the week.
For dinner. There was a little swim up bar action. I had a pina colada.
Every day the kids got their slushies at the swim up bar. It was fun.
It was fun. And our family hasn't done like a full house when they all go on vacation to Hawaii or whatever. Like we haven't done an episode like this in a long time, guys. Like we haven't done an episode like this, first of all, ever with all of our children to a destination like this.
What about didn't we do it 2 years ago in Tenerife?
Oh, I don't count that. That's
but
just
wasn't a hotel.
We were visiting. No, it was like an Airbnb, and it wasn't. And you were visiting me where I live. It doesn't. I mean, like we all go to a place, and it's
this is also how Lily Lily doesn't count time spent with her. There's a whole bunch of criteria. If you came to her house, or if she comes to your house,
if we're looking at the show, if we're looking at the series, okay,
Hones of Dunshire, a vacation are very complicated.
I appreciate that. That's an accurate description. You have my levels of vacation. But I will say that if you look at our show, like a Full House or like the rules of a TV show, we haven't done like, they all go to Hawaii or they all go to whatever destination for that episode.
Usually it's
2
also
back-to-back
Disneyland.
episodes.
It's Disneyland.
Right. But you know what I mean? Like we haven't done that if ever with our kids, all of our kids. So, and if anything, it's been like since 2019. So it's been a while. So it was really fun.
We haven't done like the Friends Barbados episode, which it was very humid. And every time I left my room, I kept saying, I came to Puerto Rico with Shai and I'm leaving with Weird
Al. Becky was like, wow, your hair has so much volume in Puerto Rico.
No, I was like,
do
you have some serious Monica on vacation.
Do you have vacation episodes that stand out? So for me, Friends in Barbados.
Friends.
Yeah, Friends in Barbados.
That's iconic.
Yeah.
There's an episode of Blackish where they go to Disneyland. And
I haven't seen
whole premise of the episode, this is so amazing, is the father.
This is a great show.
Anthony Anderson's character. He wants, he really wants to provide his kid a better life than he had. And so he gets them the concierge for the first half of the day. And for the first half of the day, they're hilariously obnoxious, and then the concierge time ends and the concierge leaves and they have to go back to being regular people at Disneyland and they lose their minds. It's a very, very, very funny episode.
That's great. I'm gonna look for that episode.
That's a great one.
I love that show.
In the episode where the middle go to Disneyland or Disney World, it's a thing they're building to in the show for years because it's something I think one of the kids always wants to do. They finally go, and when they get there, they stay in a hotel, which they don't usually do, and then they sleep in and sleep through the first whole day.
That happened to me on my honeymoon. Funny. That actually happened to me on my honeymoon.
You lost a day of your honeymoon.
We lost a day of our honeymoon.
So tired.
So we arrived in Bali, and we arrived in the afternoon. We have dinner, we go to bed, wake up the next day. We go for a walk on the beach, and it's the early afternoon, 3:00 in the afternoon or something like that. And we say, oh, let's take a short nap before we go out for dinner. So we still have another half a day. We go to lay down for a nap, and we wake up what we think is 2 hours later, and it's pitch black out. We're like, whoa, the sun sets so early in Bali. It's so weird. It's only 5 p.m. But we're really confused. Why? What's going on? Everything, the hotel seems closed. We had slept for 14 hours and it was 5 a.m. the next day. And we had just
amazing.
Lost an entire,
I don't know. Your honeymoon sounded like it was a lot of work. So
no, the first week was relaxation. After that, it was, travels.
And then the last one that I'll mention as far as vacation episodes is in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they go to the Jersey Shore. Have you seen that episode? It's the episode with the rum ham.
It's so good.
The rum ham. Oh my God. I got to rewatch that.
No, there's one episode of TV. I can't remember. I remember the bit from it, but I can't remember which show it was. It might have been a Saved by the Bell, the new class or something, one of those forgotten episodes. But there is an episode where a group of young people, I'm going to say it's Saved by the Bell, some sort of new generation or new class or something, or maybe it was who knows what. And they go on vacation, and the whole time they're on this vacation, they keep charging things to the room because they don't understand what it means. And every time a bill comes, they're charge it to the room, charge it to the room. And then I think they have to spend the part 2 of the 2-part episode, because it's always a 2-parter, working off their hotel bill that's thousands of dollars.
That sounds like a Saved by the Bell.
That's a very Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell has one of the greatest summer things ever when they have the summer season, the season where they work at the beach club.
I do have
at
to
the
say
beach club
with Leia
so
Remini.
Smart. Really smart.
And the 90210 Paris season. Where Dylan hooks up
with
whatever her name is.
Kelly?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's vacation episodes.
Okay, so those are vacation episodes. Okay, all right. So that's vacation episodes. I also think that I deserve, I'm sort of just going to put this out here. I deserve, I think, better treatment from this family. And
I feel like we cater to you a lot on vacation. You're so afraid you're never going to come again.
You're going to come back.
You're so afraid you're never going to come back.
You have us held hostage.
I think that is a reasonable fear, first of all.
Yes, but I have literally no bargaining chips. You guys know I'll schlep anywhere and at any time zone with the amount of planes.
I'm talking about the fact that the three of us
Shai has all the leverage.
The three of us met up in Philly, and Becky and I arrived. No one was there, by the way. The house was empty. We came to see Lily and her family.
You said lunchtime. After lunchtime. What does that mean?
I don't know.
That's not a time.
Yeah, so we arrived at 4 p.m. That's technically before lunch for Lily's family.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't eat
I was
until 5
confused.
So
what's crazy is that I was messing with you, and you're like, "Where are you?" And I was just a minute away from the apartment. I was on my way because I asked Becky the actual time, And I write, oh, sorry, I went to the movies. I didn't know what time you were coming. And you were just like, what movie? If it was the reverse, I would have been so upset. And you're just like, well, what movie did you go to? Like, whatever.
Yeah,
That was your question. What movie?
No, I always want to know. It's like if you travel on the plane, what did you watch on the plane?
Oh my God.
That's fair.
Like that's
Anyways, but what did you bring with you when you came?
So, well, no, I didn't bring with me. We got to mom's apartment, and mom and dad, when they come to your house, they somehow always have a cooler full of half-eaten food. You go to their house, all there was a dry pumpernickel, and I don't even know if it was like a loaf or a slice.
To be fair, mom literally was just like, oh, I have half an avocado left over in my refrigerator. Do you want that for breakfast?
Mom only buys half avocados. So there's half an avocado, there's some raisins.
One time, the last time she came, she just brought me a Ziploc bag filled with like Israeli chopped salad. That was like 3 days old by the time she arrived. There's just like a Ziploc of it. So I literally was like, don't take it out of the cooler.
You walk
just take it. I don't even want that thrown out in my house. Just take it home.
You walk into your parents' house, let alone grandparents' house. And I was affected greatly by our own grandparents, Nana and Papa in particular, in Brooklyn. You walked into that house, and it was like pouring from the cabinets were bagels and the best lox you've ever had and cream cheese. And there was no mealtime. You just got to eat whatever you want, whenever you wanted. And there was rolled cabbage and there was Nana's chicken soup. And it was just like, Papa's omelets, right? Like you walk into mom and dad's house and there is like spices, a lot of homeopathic cold remedies that mom is really into.
Oh, I love those.
Some
so much mustard.
And like CBD,
what did we find?
Q-tips or something? I don't know. Like it was
chocolate, CBD, something like
some kind of snake oil.
And honey sticks. It was CBD honey sticks.
I don't even know what a
honey
stick is. It's from the Cabana Sucre. And we walked in and I was so hungry. Just because you're in your parents' house, you get hungry. And so we're in Philadelphia and I had a craving for Philadelphia soft pretzels, which are the best soft pretzels. And the Philadelphia Pretzel Company does a pretty good job with those. So I Uber Eats an order of Philadelphia soft pretzels with some dips, nothing major.
It was epic. It was truly epic. It never would have occurred to me, but I love a Philly soft pretzel.
But it arrives at
Nobody does them like Philly.
It arrives at the house, and here I am triumphantly walking in. I've got spicy mustard for Dad, regular mustard for Lily, honey mustard for someone who wants something sweet, both nacho and cheddar cheese tubs, which, by the way, I think turn out just the same cheese.
The same thing.
Same cheese. And so
I wish they would have told you.
And a few pretzels, and everybody has a comment.
I'm sorry.
There's a lot
we
should do a
poll. We should do a poll. What's a reasonable amount of soft pretzels to order? Like, we should do a poll. I'm curious what people
this could
think.
Be the next
how many would you order?
This will be the next Substack.
What's a reasonable amount?
Okay.
Should we reveal how many you bought?
Yeah. I think you should give your reaction, because here I am generously sharing pretzels with the family.
I just don't know that we needed 30.
No, it wasn't 30.
Pretzels.
It wasn't 30. It was 25.
Like 25 soft pretzels.
I could have
wild. It was so good.
10 didn't seem enough.
But you know what? That's true, because then the next day I wanted to order some munchkins and 10 didn't seem enough, so I ordered 25.
You did?
Yeah, because when you have a choice between 10 and 25, 10 does feel like 10 would have been too little.
Proportionately,
10 would have been too little.
Munchkins are so small. They fit in the palm of your hand. A pretzel is
you're right.
A commitment.
These are the proper narrow Philly soft pretzels. These aren't the big ampersand looking ones. I think it's
still the same amount of dough, just one is squished and one is stretched.
Whatever it is.
But a Philly soft pretzel
Dad comes in,
way better than a New York soft pretzel.
So Dad comes in and immediately starts trying to give the pretzels away.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, he just was like packing them up.
Like, I haven't even had a pretzel, and Dad is like, all right, we're giving these pretzels away.
He was like the Big Short. Like, he was shorting your leftovers. Like, He was placing bets on the leftovers.
It was like when we were little.
What you wouldn't finish, and he was getting ahead of the game to give them away fresh.
No, but what I do find funny is at the end of the night, Shai goes to look at the leftovers and he's like, see, I didn't order too many. There aren't that many leftovers. I'm like, yeah, that's because Dad took a dozen out and already separated them for the ones he was giving away. So you're right. Well, it doesn't seem like a lot of leftover pretzels.
If you ordered
half of them. Yeah, if you ordered half the amount.
What was your favorite dip?
None. I'm allergic to
the normal pretzel, the normal mustard.
Normal mustard, okay.
So like vinegar.
The spicy mustard was spicy.
Mom accidentally ate that. She had words about it.
The cheese was pretty good. All right. We're in the new year. We've had our pretzels. We've had some time to think. What are some New Year's pop culture resolutions that you have?
Oh, I can go first. So one of my resolutions is that I am going to make a concerted effort to watch movies, which I know sounds silly given this podcast, but I feel like I do a lot of shows and I watch a lot of crappy movies over the last 5 years between having kids and the pandemic. And I do feel like my brain is ready to start watching good quality movies again consistently. So my pledge is that like when I see a preview for something or read about a movie that looks good, instead of going, oh, that looks good, and then deleting it, I want to actually like keep a list and watch the movies. And then when we have these conversations about like awards and best of, I'm like, oh, look, I watched stuff this year for real, not just Super Mario Brothers.
So you're gonna prepare for the podcast, is what you're saying. That you've been doing for 7 years.
No, I'm not going to prepare for the podcast any more than I have. What I'm saying is that I'm going to.
I just wanted to be clear.
I want to go back to my cinephile roots and actually be like, oh, this is something that brings you a lot of joy and put in the effort to watch the great movies.
Can we go to like midday movies together?
Absolutely, all the time. Anytime.
That's wonderful.
All the time.
Oh, I wish I could join you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I
sounds like a wonderful.
So what's an
plan.
example of one of those movies that's going to be on your list for this year?
Well, like for example,
I'm just expecting Becky to be like not this year because
I'm gonna
next year.
I'm gonna
not 2023.
I'm planning on
really serious.
I'm planning on watching. For example, I'm planning on watching Past Lives. Like I haven't seen it yet, but I am going to sit down and watch.
You're gonna love that. That's a beautiful movie.
We know you want to see Dune 2.
Well, no, obviously.
I think
that's obvious.
Counting down the minutes.
You know how I love a spreadsheet?
I'm going to have to fly to Barcelona.
You know what I think? Spreadsheet?
I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have a watch list spreadsheet.
Let's do a watch list spreadsheet.
Because otherwise it's hard to keep track.
Yeah. That's great.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea.
So, all right, I'm going to make a watch list spreadsheet. Maybe we can have for like subscribers of the Substack, they can see it too.
Okay.
And they can we can have people vote maybe.
I just subscribed to our Substack, so that's great.
That's great. All right, Lily, what about you? Pop culture resolution?
So I would say something similar. I had in my mind that I've been doing. I feel like this 2023 has been like the year of shows. I feel like I've done so many series. Because when you sit down at night and you're tired, it's just much easier to commit to an episode than a whole movie.
Which is hilarious because it's really 30 hours of television you're committing to.
I know, but then you get to do it a little bit every night as opposed to feel like you're abandoning a movie halfway through. When you watch something over 3 nights, it's not the same, I don't think. And so I don't think how the directors intended it. And so I think, so part of me was like, okay, I want to invest a bit more time in movies like Becky. But my true resolution is more multitasking. Like I aspire to be more like Shai in that, if I'm cooking or if I'm in the kitchen, there's something's got to be on. Can't waste this time. Should be consuming content. So you have, you get through the spreadsheet faster, or you have and I feel like you and Becky are much better at watching stuff on your own. Like, I feel like I'm locked into an evening routine with my husband. And if I watch without him, I get in trouble. You can't go ahead in a show without the person you're watching with. And then that's the show I'm watching. And I'm not taking enough initiative to be watching my own shows simultaneously, unless they're cult shows with Shai. And so I watched The Vow like every waking hour where I wasn't sitting at my desk to get through that show. Like, where's that commitment on a daily basis? There's a lot of cults to watch. There are more cult shows out there.
There's two Twin Flames.
Oh, I watched the one on
documentaries to watch?
Netflix.
Okay.
It's so depressing though. Oof.
Oh, the
is it
Twin
sad?
Flames one that looks so depressing.
No, I want
It's
one that's
really
a little bit
depressing.
fun. And I don't like the ones that are super depressing.
Well, I think the one I'm curious about the one though, the Twin Flames is like crazy depressing. It's ridiculously bad. Like bad in terms of like the cult. And it's not one of those like The Vow where at least the guy's like in jail, spoiler, and there's like some justice for some people on that. This one they're just like out running around. Like this is just like an expose. They're not in any sort of criminal trouble right now. Probably just with the IRS. And so I feel like, and even if it's not just cult shows, I do feel like I need to multitask a little bit more with my show consumption.
I love that.
I'm gonna try to aspire to be more like Shai.
That's a great
challenge.
Yeah, I totally respect that.
So for me, see, some of the things I've already achieved on my list, like find old 1970s stuffed animals that if you pull the string they talk and send them to Becky.
So good, Shai.
I left. Did you know that to deliver the one that we just delivered to Becky, my daughter and I just went and like left it on their front porch, just sitting there.
Like as if he walked out of someone's attic and walked over to Becky's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
But her kids love it.
Enough.
Amazing.
But they're so happy. Their little hearts, they're so happy. No. So aside from things like that, there are some, I think my watch list in particular, like this summer, made a new friend. A shout out. He is not listening to this podcast. I'm confident he doesn't know how to find podcasts, but he's an awesome guy. Aaron Levine. He and I had this like one of this deep rabbit hole talking about Elliot Gould and like the days of Elliot Gould as like a movie star. Like before he, like now he's a respectable old man, plays funny old Jews and Ocean's 11 and stuff.
Right.
But he has a whole bunch of movies where he was like a movie star. And there's this list of movies of like old Elliot Gould movies that I really want to get. I mean, I want to get into watching, which I feel like talk about like the least interesting resolution I could have possibly had.
No, it's interesting. I want to deep dive.
Also, I want to take Becky to a live wrestling show. I mean, I'll take you to a live wrestling show.
Ooh, I'll go to that.
I want to go to live wrestling at some point. And I would say I would like to get back to going to the movie theater regular. Like I have not been to a movie theater.
Fun. Oh, I haven't
maybe been to a movie theater
years.
once or twice, but like now
I haven't been in years. Like at least 2 years.
And I want to try again, although I'd love to go with Beck if she's available. But I want to get back into going by myself because the few times I did it, it was remarkably
It's really
rewarding.
great. I love going to the movies
It was
by myself.
remarkably
I can't
rewarding.
imagine it. I can't even fathom it.
Why?
I can't imagine going to dinner by myself.
So relaxing.
I look.
If you go to the Alamo, you can. If you go to the Alamo, you can do both by yourself at once.
Dinner.
That's true. But I think of the movies
Hilarious.
that I saw by myself in the theater. There were 3: Stuber, Spider-Man, one with Jake Gyllenhaal, and Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And weirdly, each of those movies, usually seeing a movie with someone makes it better for me. Each of those movies were quite enjoyable by myself. And by the way, Stuber is like a great dumb comedy with David Bautista and Kumail Nanjiani. I highly recommend them. I mean, I highly recommend it, but like it delivers on its promise.
Great. What more could you ask for?
All right. Okay. So we've got some New Year's resolutions. Now let's shift to shout outs. Rex, I think we've talked about a few things recently, but we haven't gotten into them. One of the movies we watched recently was The Last Voyage of the Demeter. We watched that on vacation, which was
that was
movie
fun.
Taken from
That was fun in a group.
The Dracula story of when Dracula had himself shipped in his coffin to England.
But that was a movie that's like I would not be okay seeing that in the theater alone. Not because I'm scared, because I'd be like, what am I doing with my life? But going with both, being in a room with both of you and our spouses, and for half of it, our parents, and having mom cover her face the time that she was watching the movie was such a fun experience.
It was super fun.
But that is an absolutely experiential.
But I also I
watch it with a group or with someone who enjoys vampires and Dracula and stuff like that. I also had been trying to get me to watch that movie for like 2 months, and I kept saying no. But there is a time and a place for everything.
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh, you're such a hypocrite. Now you want to watch it." And I'm like, "No, I'm with the right group."
The truth is, we can never know if that movie was good or bad because we watched it with the TV on frame blending. So I'm sorry.
Now everyone's turned
I don't
off
know.
the podcast. Maybe listening has turned it off.
Maybe it's scary, but we watched it as if it was a European soap opera. So
it makes
it kind of
I
changes the state.
I think you found your trick to watching horror movies.
Yeah.
My trick for watching horror movies is I watch the summaries on YouTube. I still can't watch the old.
That's a good way to do it.
80s horror movies.
Anyway,
and then we also we watched Freelance with John Cena.
I've deleted that.
Oh yeah, that was brutal. That should be on How Did This Get Made?
But you know what?
How did Ali and Brie?
But I love John Cena. I'm such a huge John Cena fan. Peacemaker, that show is amazing. He's so.
And he's good in this movie.
And he was great in the movie, but it was just like, again, was it bad or was it frame blending? It's hard to tell because I don't feel like I watched.
I don't think that was a movie where frame blend. I think that movie was made to be frame blended.
Not untrue. Wait, can we get to the presents though? I'm like very eager.
Right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there are presents. I can't believe so I got a package that is super heavy that is addressed to Lily.
No, it's not. This is not for you.
Now
I don't know what that is.
It says a gift for you.
What?
Oh. No, it's I'm not gonna embarrass them, but looks like a delightful holiday package from some friends of ours of some treats and things.
What? To your house?
And I
wait, but just to Lily?
It says it's...
Why couldn't they send it to mom and dad's where I am right now so I could?
Maybe I'll come over and eat some of it.
Well, it looks yummy, and Becky and I
we can't see what the treats are.
Well, you open your thing while I do this. There's a lot of layers here.
No. Oh my gosh. Okay, well,
I need to give a preamble. I need to give a preamble to Lily's, which is that I already gave Lily a huge I Told You show this year. With not
you to me?
Yeah, if you recall, open your gift. You recall it was the Stanley Cup. You got a huge I Told You show for the Stanley Cup. So I discovered that there are some Stanley accessories out there, and
there are.
Oh my god,
there are.
This is amazing. Becky showed me the picture.
Is this the thing that covers the straw?
No.
Look, when you're spending a lot of time on Amtrak, sometimes
you get some weird ads in your Instagram.
Oh my god, Becky, this looks like a what do you call a bedpan?
It's a snack cup for your Stanley Cup. So
oh my god, because there is a useful accessory that it's a thing that you can cover your straw with.
But this is if you're sitting at your desk or let's say you're watching a movie at the end of the night, you have your Stanley Cup, and then you can put your little snack bowl around it, then fill it with all your treats.
It's
and then you can have your popcorn.
It's one step away from a hat that has drinks in it, like the beer hats.
Yeah, no, it's a bedpan to put snacks in.
Oh, by the way, it's not Yummy Treats. It's a delightful cutting board that says the Cormans on it.
What?
I'm not sure it was really.
What?
Yeah, maybe it was for me. Maybe it really was for me. Are you sure this isn't?
I think it is not the present I sent you, but wow.
It says your name on the package.
That is odd.
I feel like
Very
this might actually be for me.
That was laser cut into the cutting board, special for you.
What's the middle part of the cutting board?
It's like
wood. The sides are wood. What's the middle?
Some kind of cool
glass.
Yeah, I don't know if it's glass, but it's beautiful.
That is very fancy.
You're welcome.
This is a cutting board, right?
A custom, or I would call it a serving board.
I think it's a serving board. I don't think you're meant to cut over.
You're not going to like.
I think it's like a cheese board or the boards are so popular.
It's from a small business called Windset Studio, and it says hand wash gently with soap or water.
Very fancy.
No, that's definitely not a cutting board then. That's a like cheese board. I mean, boards were huge in 2023. Okay. So Shai, just for the record, there is a present that is supposed to arrive to your house under your name, but it's from me. But it should arrive to Shai because I ordered it for you. If something arrives for you, I know it's going to be hard, and it's not from Amazon, please wait to open it on the pod.
On the pod? It can't just video it?
Or maybe video it.
Okay. Fine. All right.
But that is from me. If you see it, one day it should arrive. Hilarious.
All right. So we've talked about the movies.
Love you guys.
Anybody else have anything else they've been watching or they want to recommend?
Oh, I highly recommend Still, a Michael J. Fox movie, which is the documentary about him he made a documentary on Apple Plus. It was really beautiful. It was really fun. It was short. It was not long at all. And it's on Apple Plus, and it's definitely worth watching because it's just about like his experience and what it was like. It wasn't like, he's not like talking about like he has so much that he could talk about, but it was very refreshing because there was stuff about family ties and Back to the Future and Teen Wolf that I didn't know. And like, he gives you a few nuggets that I didn't know. And I don't think many people know. And it was just, and amazing to see what he's faced and what how his life is with his family. It's beautifully done. And it's not depressing. It's actually extremely uplifting. Great.
That's wonderful. I will definitely watch that. I took the kids to see the new Wonka movie with Timothée Chalamet, and I loved it. It was, I think when you hear Wonka, like when I heard, Wonka, I automatically think like dark and creepy and depressing and like maybe he's always like slightly a sociopath in all these iterations. But this was the opposite. It was like a warm hug, and it's this prequel, origin story of Wonka where he's this young, optimistic guy and the love for making chocolate and this beautiful personal story of why he wants to make it. And it was really fun.
It wasn't all orthodontics like the Burton version where it's just him being tortured. Like, no. I was asking my older daughter today because she was in a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory play. She's read the book. And I said, "Hey, you want to go see Wonka?" She's like, "Sure, but like, it's gonna be creepy." I'm like, "I heard it's not creepy."
Not creepy at all. Not creepy at all. Really fun. And it was just refreshing to see something that was just really positive and playful and all around.
I am relieved to see that like this Chalamet thing was not like an emo.
Exactly. And I automatically, so I at first didn't want to see it because I assumed that's what it would be like because he was cast in it and he's such like a dramatic, emotional actor, right?
Like the Bones and All version of Wonka,
exactly.
Where he eats the Oompa Loompa.
But what happened was my kids and I started watching a whole bunch of clips of the movie on YouTube. And I was like, he doesn't seem like he's playing it very emo. He seems like he's actually doing something really different than what we've seen him do in the past.
But like, how many more of these movies do we need?
If he's in it, and I think it's Paul King is the name of the director, the guy that did Paddington. If Chalamet's in it and that guy is directing it, I'd take 1 to 2 more. It was delightful.
Wow, a whole Wonka.
One more. I do one more.
That I still can't get over with Willy Wonka is why didn't we ever get the real chocolate bars? Like the actual Wonka candies are just like sweet tarts and nerds and things like that.
Yeah, I know.
Like I want a damn Wonka bar.
Well, and let me tell you, in this version, the chocolatiering, the creations he does, and whoever they hired to be the actual chocolatier to create those individual pieces are so stunning. They look incredible. I mean, I'm like,
why
we should get that.
Why can't we get that as part of the marketing? Anyways,
I know.
Lily, you forgot to mention that you saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3, my favorite movie
of last
year.
I did.
Did you understand it?
It was the best Holocaust movie I've ever seen.
Lily.
It was like
but if Helen Mirren wasn't in it, it wasn't really a
Holocaust movie. That's true.
I think that's
but it was.
I
would say like the metaphor for Nazism and like
the experimentation,
World War II and the experimentation and the like not being the guilt, survivor's guilt, and like the correlation is extremely easy to make. Being caged, it was trying to build a master race. Like, hello, people. I don't think it's it's that was a dark joke, but I think that, like, in all seriousness, the correlations are there a million times over. Which was a bit surprising. I was taken aback I had no idea I had no idea what this movie was about. So I think like that was a bit shocking to me.
I think they land the dramatic element of that layer so incredibly well.
So beautifully done. My God.
I think using the Rocket Raccoon story, and Bradley Cooper is amazing in that movie as a voice actor.
Dad watched some of it with me and he was like, is that his voice the whole time? And I was like, I think so. And I think they do motion capture, right, with him? I think it's his face as well.
In the
raccoon. Yeah.
Huh. So, do you think they did motion capture for Maestro also inside the Jewish head that they made for him?
It's in order to get the nose to sniffle realistically.
But he's amazing as Rocket Raccoon. Like that story doesn't work without the performances from those actors inside the animals.
And it was funny, but I would say it's more serious than funny. The joke is a lot of like sibling spats and stuff like that. It was good. Yeah. I thought, I don't know if I would see it 3 times, but like, I understand that you enjoyed it. I like seeing Peter Quill like knock down a peg and like kind of having to rise up a little bit. That was interesting. Like gave us more depth to his character. And
what did you think of Will Poulter as Adam?
I think he's fantastic because he's great, but it's like maybe a bit of a waste. I'm excited to see him in the next one where he gets to like not be like a dumb jock. Like you know what I mean? I'm glad it's
the real Adam Warlock character is much more powerful.
Interesting. I had no idea he was a real. I was like, oh, they just painted the guy from the Bear Gold, and now they put him in this movie. Mom was like, I think he's from the comics. I was like, I don't think so. No idea what I'm saying.
Did you notice that? I think Judy Greer played the War Pig.
Oh, that makes sense. I liked all the. It's often in these movies there's so many characters. They're all terrible usually, but all of the little extra characters in this were so good. The character design, I guess they come from comics, but just like the way that in the casting of them, and even the little otter. Oh my gosh, like everybody was so good. The second Guardians made me never want to see another Guardians again. It was an abomination. The third one makes me so excited that there's going to be a fourth one.
I don't think that there's not going to be a fourth Guardians.
Oh.
Well, if there is, it's not going to be the same thing because James Gunn.
Well, it says Star-Lord will be back. I guess he could be back in any of the movies.
Yeah, and James Gunn is now off making the DC movies. Okay. Do you have any questions, though? I love when Lily has questions about Marvel movies.
I don't know. Well, this is like a separate episode.
That's a separate episode.
Write them down.
I don't have time for that today.
Okay. Well,
but I'll note them.
Okay. And with that, Happy New Year. Love you guys.
Love you.
Thank you to everybody for listening.
So excited for what this year is going to bring in terms of movies. Right. Very exciting.
All right. Talk soon.
Right.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Friday Night Movie, the sibling rivalry and pop culture podcast. Join the Friday Night Movie family by following @FryNightMovie on all of the socials and visiting our website, FryNightMovie.com. Our theme song is by What Does It Eat? And make sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.